Welcome back to the third chapter of Gasoline, a Machine. Rainbow Dash stared at Twilight, her mouth hanging open like she wanted to talk, but no words would come out. Rainbow looked around at her friends' faces. They were full of joy and excitement. The blue mare's head was spinning, and she tried to focus on something. She finally looked on her back and focused on the scarred nubs that used to be her wings. "You better have, because if this is some kind of sick joke, I don't like it," she finally mumbled. Pinkie Pie had practically destroyed the place with her bouncing and twirling. Pinkie was now standing in front of her with the classic wide smile. Fluttershy was next to the pink mare with her head down, but still gave Rainbow a shy smile. Rarity was giving her a sympathetic smile, and Twilight placed her wing around the mare. "We would never joke about this, Sugar Cube," Applejack said, throwing her a smile. Rainbow's eyes glazed over with tears. She tried to hide her face, but her wings weren't there, and her hooves didn't do much. "Guys, you are the best friends a pony could ask for," she said, as a tear fell from her cheek to the cloud floor. When it hit, a small swirl of cloud traveled around their hooves. "Don't cry, silly. Let's go get your wings back," Pinkie said, way too loud, and Fluttershy hit herself with her wings. "Yeah," she said quietly from behind her wings. The others nodded, and Rainbow wiped her face. She stood up and puffed her chest out like she used to. "Right then, what are we waiting for? Let's go, slowpokes," she said, and trotted out the door. She was about to walk on a cloud when Applejack grabbed her tail. "No wings," she said, her words muffled by Rainbow's tail. "Right, I forgot," she said, chuckling nervously and rubbing the back of her head. They walked over to the balloon that they used to get up and took off. Then wispy clouds fluffing at their hoof steps. "So, who is this guy? The one who can, fix my wings?" Rainbow said, and rested her head on her hoof. She looked out at the clouds as they passed and sighed. "Well, I haven't exactly researched him, but Applejack," Twilight started. AJ had stuffed her hat in Twilight's mouth, and Twilight was making muffled whines and grunts. "What she means to say is his name is Dr. Frankenhoof." She started shooting Twilight a dirty look as she sat next to the blue mare and put a hoof on her shoulder. "And he said he can fix you right up, hun," she said, flicking her tail. Rainbow loomed at AJ with a questioning look, but went back to looking out of the basket. "I don't care what this dude's name is, and I don't need fixed. Just, some help," she said, getting defensive. "Don't worry, Dashy. We know you're perfect how you are and just need a little help," Pinkie beamed, getting in Rainbow's face. "Wait, will you be half robot now?" she asked, sitting back confused. "Pinkie!" Rarity said, disgusted at the party pony. Rarity put herself in between the two ponies and pushed her away with her back hoof. "Anyway, darling, what I'm sure Pinkie was trying to say," she started, kinda grunting each word as she glared at Pinkie, "is that we are all excited for you," she finished sweetly, turning back towards Rainbow Dash. Rainbow let out a scratchy chuckle and nervously scratched her neck with a hoof. She put a leg up on the side of the balloon basket and laid her head on her leg. "I'm hoping it does," she mumbled, but no pony heard because they were all talking amongst each other. They traveled for a long time before the air became heavy. It got darker and hard to see, and the fog was thick. They landed the balloon next to an old castle-looking building. It wasn't as big as a castle, but it had towers and was completely made of stone bricks. The 6 bright ponies looked at the old building. Applejack walked up beside Twilight. "Are you sure this is safe?" she mumbled to her. She was still giving the building a sumptuous look. Twilight looked down at Applejack and looked into her hard green eyes. Twilight's own filled with nervousness and a little fear. "I'm sure it's fine. Like I always say, can't judge a book by its cover. Twilight responds nervously. Twilight and Rarity lit up their horns so there was slightly better light, and the group exited the basket. Pinky bounced ahead. "Pinky!" Twilight whispered, laying her ears back. They all stop when they hear a thud. They turn to see Rainbow Dash on the ground next to the basket. She quickly stands up and brushes the dirt off with a hoof. Not used to not flying, she chuckled, trying to get the attention off her. She trots past them, pretending nothing happened. She stopped at the door. Pinky was already there eating cupcakes. "How the... You know what? Never mind," Rainbow said, looking back at the others. "Are you coming or not? My wings aren't going to replace themselves," she said, shifting, getting a little hopeful that this would work. The rest of the group trots up. They all look nervously at Twilight as she knocks on the big oak door. Fluttershy squeaks and covers her head with her wings, peeking through her feathers. "It's okay, Fluttershy. It's just a big, scary old castle," Pinky said through a mouthful of cake. Fluttershy gave her a dirty look. "Yeah, sure, you just listed all the reasons this is not okay," her quiet voice straining as she speaks. "Knock it off, both y'all," AJ said. They stared at the door and jumped when the owls cried out. It's silent. Then the big doors slowly open, creaking as they do. The group walks into the building, and the doors slam behind them. The dark room is illuminated with pink and blue from the unicorn's horns. Applejack gave Twilight another skeptical look, but kept her mouth shut. "Hello? We're looking for Dr. Frankenhoof," Twilight's shaky voice echoes through the hallways. "Yes, hello, I am he," a new voice answers. A new, chilling voice. The room's temperature seemed to drop, and the room got darker, if possible. They all jumped and looked behind them. A tall, thin, brown unicorn with a messy silver mane and lab coat stood behind them. His cutie mark was a silhouette of a pony with horns and wings coming out of the wrong places, in a stitch pattern where they attached to the pony. Oh, hello, Mr. Frankenhoof. My name is Twilight She started but got cut off. Yes, Twilight Sparkle, Princess of Friendship, and these are your friends, he said, walking up and looking at Twilight with a grin. Rarity, Applejack, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, and he said, looking at each of them as he said their names. You must be Rainbow Dash, he said, articulating each syllable of her name clearly and slower than necessary. Rainbow's pupil shrunk slightly as she swallowed the lump in her throat. He walked up to her and walked around her. Such a shame what happened, he said, placing a hoof on one of the nubs where her wings should be. Such a beautiful mare and beautiful wings destroyed in a single second, he said, moving around her, and his hoof glides to the other nub. Rainbow's whole body shakes, remembering the pain and the feeling. His touch made it all come back, almost worse. Rainbow cries out in pain as her eyes close shut. Her friends move forward to help. A smile pulls at the doctor's lips as he sets his hoof down, trotting over so he is in front of them all. Yes, I can help repair her wings. It is possible for her to fly again, but there's one simple detail that must be known, he said, his voice getting lower and lower. Rainbow jerked her head, not wanting to lose this opportunity. What is it? I'll do anything. Please just fix my wings, she said, almost crying. His pupils shrink ever so slightly, and a wide grin appears on his face. A wide, unnatural grin. Almost murderous. The thing is, to get your wings to work, I must rewire your brain.